Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating geopolitical development, the highly anticipated 2026 visit of Panama's foreign minister to India and all the strategic ripple effects it's creating. This isn't just your standard diplomatic handshake. It's actually the merging of two completely different, yet perfectly complementary, global players.
Okay, let's dive right into this. When Panama's foreign minister Javier Martinez Acha Vázquez flat out calls your nation a superpower and a civilizational power, well, that perfectly sets the stakes for our analysis today. I mean, when a nation that sits quite literally at the crossroads of global trade acknowledges this, it signals a massive shift in how India is perceived on the world stage. They aren't just looking for a casual trading partner here, they're looking for a solid global anchor.
So, to understand exactly how we got here, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. An emerging global superpower. 2. Surprising historical roots. 3. The Latin American gateway. 4. Trade, teak, and tech. And finally, 5. The strategic road ahead.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, an emerging global superpower.
So, India is rapidly accelerating toward its Viksit Bharat, or Developed India milestone, which is targeted for 2047. And Panama's foreign minister was actually very explicit about this. He stated that this remarkable transformation has inspired nations like his to think a lot more ambitiously about their own futures. He noted that India is actively helping shape the international order of the 21st century. And because of this momentum, Panama sees a totally unique opportunity right now to elevate their traditional 6-decade-long friendship into a highly integrated, long-term strategic partnership for the decades ahead. This absolutely matters because it shows us how domestic economic goals directly translate into international geopolitical leverage.
Moving right along to Section 2, surprising historical roots. Now, what's really interesting here is that India and Panama actually share the oldest relations in the entire Central American region. We are talking all the way back to the middle of the 19th century, when groups of Indians traveled to Panama to work on the construction of the Panama Railways and later on the iconic Panama Canal in the early 20th century. Official diplomatic relations were then established in 1962. Today, that foundational history has evolved into a really vibrant community of around 15,000 people of Indian origin and non-resident Indians living in Panama. They are a well-settled community, deeply integrated into Panamanian society, and they act as a vital human bridge for today's bilateral surge.
And that historical bridge has led to some very serious modern-day diplomacy. If we look at the official Ministry of External Affairs documentation, it shows a significant surge of high-level diplomatic exchanges. This really gained serious momentum with the vice presidential visit to Panama back in 2018. Since then, we've seen steady, high-level contact, including External Affairs Minister Dr. Say Jaishankar's visit to Panama in 2023 and Panama's former foreign minister visiting India in early 2024. The political groundwork here is incredibly solid.
Which brings us to Section 3, the Latin American gateway.
Think about it this way. India manufactures for the world, and Panama connects the world. It's such a simple yet profound way to frame this partnership, and that brilliant conceptual contrast comes directly from the words of the Panamanian foreign minister. Look, Panama might be a small country geographically, but their value is measured by the connections they create. They host the Panama Canal, which is a massive platform for trusted global commerce, alongside a banking and financial services sector with assets of over $93 billion. These two nations just perfectly complement each other's economic strengths.
And this isn't just some one-sided pitch from Panama either. India completely recognizes this strategic reality. As External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar stated, Panama serves as a natural bridge for us for global trade routes as a gateway for the wider Latin America region. So India officially views Panama's logistics infrastructure as a global landmark and a vital jumping-off point for Indian companies that want to seamlessly expand their footprint into Central and South America.
Let's move into the numbers. Section 4, trade, teak, and tech.
So the crucial point here is this number, $453.31 million. That was the bilateral trade volume between the two nations in 2024 to 2025 alone. India is exporting a vast array of goods to Panama. We're talking everything from minerals and textiles to apparel, pharmaceuticals, and electronic equipment. And in return, India imports iron, steel, mineral fuels, and wood products.
Now, speaking of wood products, I have a staggering statistic for you. Panama has about 80,000 hectares of timber trees grown for commercial trade. Out of all the commercially exported teak produced in Panama, a massive 95% goes directly to India. No way, right? It's a hugely concentrated supply chain that flies completely under the radar, yet it quietly fuels major domestic industries in India.
But the true potential lies in what's next. There is vast, untapped potential in sectors like IT, energy, and automobiles. Take pharmaceuticals, for example. Panama is the third largest buyer of pharmaceutical products in Central America. But here's the incredible part. All pharmaceutical medicines are 100% import-free in Panama, yet only 6% of what is sold there is actually made in the country. This is an absolutely massive open door for India's booming pharma sector to step in and utilize Panama not just as a market, but as a highly lucrative regional distribution hub.
All right, bringing us to our final section, Section 5, the strategic road ahead.
All these high-level talks are actually translating into on-the-ground reality. We're seeing tangible initiatives being implemented through Quick Impact Projects, or QIPs. Just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, India has previously announced initiatives like a $10 million Center for Biodiversity and Drug Discovery and a $15 million Center for Technology and Innovation in Panama. Plus, in 2025, 5 specific memorandums of understanding for QIPs were signed. That shows a real commitment to fast, actionable development cooperation.
Let's see how this builds into the future of tech. During his 2026 visit, Panama's foreign minister didn't just talk about traditional goods. He proposed collaboration in cutting-edge 21st century sectors. We are talking about semiconductors, artificial intelligence, data centers, and advanced manufacturing. He even proposed establishing a high-level trade and investment working group to really smooth out the regulatory pathways for Indian multinational companies to set up shop in Panama. It's a very clear play to tap into global supply chain resilience and future-proof both of these economies.
But, as we know, economics and tech require a foundation of trust, and that trust is built on shared values. Both nations possess a deep commitment to democracy, openness, and international law. Notably, this partnership extends heavily into global security. During their meetings, External Affairs Minister Jaishankar specifically thanked Panama for its clear-cut condemnation of terrorism following the Pahalgam attack, and for Panama's very vocal support of India's right to self-defense. Furthermore, Panama has consistently reaffirmed its support for India getting permanent membership in the UN Security Council.
And that brings us to the big picture. We've seen how the builder, India, this manufacturing and civilizational powerhouse, is linking up with the bridge, Panama, the logistical heart of the Americas. It really is a masterclass in strategic synergy. But it leaves us with a compelling question to ponder. As India's economic and geopolitical footprint continues to expand at such a rapid pace, who will be its next strategic gateway? Where is the builder going to build its next bridge? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this deeper look at the source material has given you a clearer picture of our shifting global landscape. See you next time.